COVID-19 victims were inmates from Plainfield Correctional Facility, both men in their 60s. Since the pandemic began, we have received multiple messages from people scared for their loved ones who are behind bars. RTV6's Cornelius Hawker is sharing the story of one woman whose husband says conditions of his prison are a breeding ground for coronavirus.
He has told me about how they're still crowding everybody down in the chow hall.
Tracy Claycamp on the conditions her husband, Justin, says he and other inmates are dealing with at one Indiana prison.
How filthy it is in there. They won't give them bleach or anything so they can at least themselves sanitize the area.
And when it comes to inmates being able to social distance themselves 6 feet from each other,
you're lucky if you've got 3 feet between you and the other bunk.
We're not naming the specific prison because we can't independently verify what Tracy's husband is saying.
Hello, I'm Dr. Kristen Doss.
The Indiana Department of Correction posted this video on YouTube detailing some of the things they're doing to keep inmates safe. Visitors and volunteers are no longer allowed into the correctional facilities, and any sick employees are not allowed to work.
We continue to reinforce with staff and offender alike to follow personal hygiene best practices recommended by the Indiana State Department of Health and the Center for Disease Control.
They remind inmates and staff to wash their hands and practice social distancing. They've also stopped inmates who were on work crews or work release from leaving the facilities. But for people like Tracy, who hears from someone inside a prison, she thinks a lot more needs to be done to make sure those serving time don't end up dying because of this pandemic.
The state is responsible for the inmate, and they're supposed to take care of that inmate regardless of why they're there.
And that was Cornelius Hawker reporting. The Indiana Department of Corrections says they are doing deep cleanings of their prisons and have plans in place to deal with symptomatic inmates, even in the case of a large-scale infection. Right now, there are 221 confirmed inmate COVID-19 cases in Indiana's prisons. 3 inmates have died. 83 employees have also tested positive, but the Department of Correction does not release details on staff conditions or the locations where they have tested positive.